A digital marketing agency or a SMMA is literally nothing without a few clients, right? So in today's video, I'm gonna give you a step-by-step process that shows you how to find, qualify, and then land those potential clients that you need to grow your agency. So stay tuned, we've got a good one for you. Alright everybody, welcome back and thank you for joining me. My name is Jordan Steen. I'm also known as Serial Entrepreneur, and at this channel we talk all about starting an agency, a marketing agency. So if you're interested in learning anything more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so we can keep teaching you. P.S. Stick around to the end of today's video and I will teach you how you can actually work with me and my team to start your agency off the right way. If you want to learn how you can do that, the Done With You agency program, make sure to stay tuned to the end. In order to find clients, we actually have to know where to begin looking, right? So let's go ahead and hop on over to my screen and we'll talk about where you can look for new potential clients. All right, guys, so let's talk about finding potential clients for your agency. So there's several different ways that you can find new clients, from cold outreach when you find them online to actually just looking at billboards that you pass when you're driving down the road. Those are people that are spending on ads that they're advertising in a spot where they're probably not getting the result that they're looking for, right? So the first place is going to be Google. And guys, this is where we find a majority of the cold prospects that we actually look for. So the first thing we're gonna do is we'll just type in Atlanta dentist, right? And let's just say we're going after the dentist niche. What I like to do from here is let's open up maps first and get all of the different potential companies over here, right? These are all potential clients that we could work with. You can see there, it looks like there's only about what, 12 to 15 different potential clients. And as I zoom in, you'll see more businesses start to show up. This is a great way to find potential clients, and we'll talk about the prospecting process here in a minute, but just for now, I'm showing you where you can actually go to find potential clients to work with or businesses that you can potentially reach out to. The second place is actually very useful as well, and it's not just Upwork, but using freelancer platforms to find potential clients is another great way to get those businesses on board. Upwork isn't the only one. There's freelancer.com, fiverr.com, there's freeup, F-R-E-E-E, up.com. There's so many different not networking, but VA related platforms where you can set up a business account and start bringing in new clients. Now, the third way is going to be with networking events, right? So we have things like Meetup, where you can actually find business related or networking related events in your area to go start talking to other business-minded people. All right, same thing with the Chamber of Commerce in your local area. If you guys have Chamber of Commerce in your area, these are great organizations to join because these are all business-related people looking to network and find ways to improve their business. There's also things like the BNI network. That is a networking event and group that is specifically catered to helping people find new leads for their business. So there's tons of different ways to find potential clients, right? But next, we actually have to talk about pre-qualifying and qualifying these businesses to see if they're worth your time. So what are some things that you need to look for first? Basically, the first thing is you're looking for people, again, who can afford the services, but you're also looking for people who, more than likely consider online marketing or digital marketing valuable to their business. It's hard to convince people who are so stuck in the old ways of marketing to change their mind and do something new. A really quick indicator of a pre-qualified customer is someone like this right here. Michelle, she is spending on ads already, right? You can see that she is already running an ad, thus making her already qualified. And the good thing is a lot of people will say, oh, well, if she's already spending, she already has an agency, I shouldn't go after them. A lot of companies that I have found have come from other businesses or marketing with other agencies, and they weren't happy getting the results that they were getting with that company. It's a great way to get your foot in the door and have something to talk about when you get in with these potential clients. But let's look at qualifying a potential customer that isn't already spending on ads, right? So we have Dr. Joseph over here. We're gonna go to his website and we're going to look for a few things. First thing I'm gonna tell you is his website is set up as a Facebook page, meaning he might not actually have a website. Over here on Facebook, it's linking to a Yelp review. So I'm going to go ahead and say that he probably does not have a website developed. Doctors, dentists, people like that who don't even have a website, they're usually aware of the fact that they need one, right? So you can sell really easily to someone like this, get a website, and then try to work in other forms of marketing after you build the site. But since he doesn't have a good website, it kind of tells us a lot about him already. Let's look at someone that might actually have a website. So let's look at Atlanta Dentistry by Design. We're gonna go over to their website. You can see it looks designed pretty decently. You know, I've seen better. I don't like the fact that their navigation bar takes up this whole side of the page. So what are we looking for though when we get here to let us know whether we should actually reach out to this business? Number one, again, having a good website, a good social presence, things like that is an indicator that they care about their digital marketing. So in that regard, they're pre-qualified. But let's see some other things, right? The first thing I like to do typically is come into the About Us and go to the Meet Our Team page, right? So we have the main doctor who's probably the owner right here. And then we have the rest of the team, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other people. So in total, this office has 9 people working inside of it. More than likely, you have to understand they're paying part-time work and salaries for all of these people. So that's telling me they're probably generating at least 450 to $1 million per year in revenue, right? At the very, very minimum, and that's them doing poorly. Testimonials, we wanna make sure they have a ton of those, which if you go back over here, they have over 338 testimonials on Facebook, or sorry, on Google, with an average 4.9 review. This is a great company to work for, and again, they're growing. They have 9 total people that work at their office, and they have a decent design on their site. I can see they don't have the Facebook pixel installed, so they're not really caring as much about social ads, but these are all things that I'm taking into consideration to say, I can probably reach out to this customer, and if they're looking for marketing services, I can probably sell them. Some other indicators that you're going to look for are multiple locations, right? If they have several locations, that usually means, especially with a doctor's office, they're definitely pre-qualified to buy from you. Now, this doesn't apply to every industry, right? Let's look at, for example, restaurants. Let's do pizza restaurants in Atlanta. What I know about the pizza restaurant is this. There are people who sell pizzas, or restaurants that sell a large or extra large pizza for, let's say, $25, $30, right? That extra large or large pizza will feed a family of 4. So that means that by the time that family walks out of that restaurant, they're probably going to spend anywhere from $45 to $50 just on the food and stuff like that alone, not including tip or anything like that. All right, so that comes down to an average of $12.50 per customer. That is not a ton of money in revenue per customer for a restaurant, right? Something that would be a ton of money per revenue is somewhere between the $50 to $100 range. That's a lot of money per customer, meaning that you don't have to service as many customers and you don't have to have as many locations to make a really good profit margin, right? So what we're looking for with restaurants is typically for me, especially in the lower spending types of restaurants like pizza, like other types of food that are just cheaper, Mexican food, Indian food, stuff like that, we want someone that has 5 to 10 locations with that type of restaurant. But with someone like Papa Dough, this is the example I always like to give. Papa Dough is a restaurant in Atlanta, and they serve high-end seafood. But the average ticket for a person walking out of Papa Dough's at minimum is going to be $50. Usually it's around $65, $75 per customer, okay? And the other thing that I know about this restaurant is the fact that they are always busy. I don't care if it's a 2 o'clock at 3 p.m., they are packed, okay? So what does that tell me? They're making a lot of money, okay? Which means they can maybe afford my services. I've actually talked to a few of the franchise owners for Papa Dough, and they're actually doing about $3 to $4 million for one location. That is not happening at a single pizza restaurant, a single Mexican restaurant, unless they're charging for high-end style experience in food, right? So you have to understand the types of businesses you're going after, and you have to really think about their customers and their business. Think about the industry that they're involved in, what their profit margins are typically like, because that's gonna give you an indication of how many locations they're really going to need to have before I can actually reach out and they're able to afford my services. So guys, that's really it. Again, key points are how many people do they have working for them? How many locations do they have? How long have they been in business? All of these are indicators that tell you about how much money they're making with their business. And that's what we're looking for in the pre-qualification stage. So what are some questions you have about pre-qualifying different industries or niches? What are some struggles that you've had with pre-qualifying or prospecting for potential clients? Leave them in the comments below. I'd love to help you out with that. So question 1 in the qualifying process is, what problems are you currently facing? It's a very simple question that gets them talking about their business and why they aren't getting the results that they're looking for. This gives you an idea of how to approach them with solutions that are going to help their business. The second thing to follow up with is, what have you done to fix this particular problem? And in other words, what types of marketing have you tried in the past to help alleviate this? And this is going to tell you what they've spent on as far as marketing is concerned, which will allow you to ask other questions like, well, how much did you spend on that campaign? How long did you run the campaign? Which then gives you an idea of how much money they're willing to spend monthly, so you know whether or not they're going to be in the ballpark for your services or not. The third question you could ask is, have you ever hired an agency before? Which makes it really easy for you to determine, again, are they willing to hire you or not? And even if they say they haven't hired an agency before, that lets you know, okay, great, this is the time you should definitely try, and that's probably the reason why you weren't able to get the results that you were looking for in the past. Another question is, what does success look like to you? This is going to help you set the expectations properly with the potential client, and so that way you know exactly what they're looking for you to create success with a campaign for their business. So here are some quick tips that you can take into consideration for that discovery call. Ask questions based on your buyer's journey. Understand where they're at. Understand what they've done to try and resolve this problem, and that gets them really talking about everything else that you're going to want to know about their particular situation. Number 2 is taking notes. I can't tell you how many people I've seen go to a meeting and not take a single note. As they are talking, you should pretty much be writing or typing the entire time, and this is all going to be information that you can refer back to later, which is going to help you sell better. Another is active listening. Guys, you have to listen to them. They want to be heard. So if they say something, don't just go off on a tangent on your own thing. Make sure you acknowledge what they said by repeating it back to them in a different way and then continuing on with your point. But if all you ever do is hear what they say, then go off on your own point, they're going to stop listening to you. Active listening is repeating back essentially what they're saying to you, so that way they feel comfortable and understand that you actually heard what they said. Finally, avoid questions that will only end up with a yes or a no response, okay? So try to ask open-ended questions that will get these people talking instead of just saying yes or no. Oh, and if you're struggling with overcoming objections, I mentioned there are tons of questions that people might ask, and really, the responses are pretty much the same for all of them, you just frame them a different way. But if you want to learn how to overcome objections that you're going to receive, check out the video up here in the top right-hand corner. Alright, so now that you've had the discovery call, usually what you like to do after you end the discovery call is set up your next meeting for a proposal, or have a proposal already ready to go when you get done with your discovery call, make some quick adjustments, and then actually present the proposal. What I personally tend to do is set another call in the very near future, a day or two later, to actually present a proposal to this potential client. But what do you actually need to include in your proposal? Essentially, it comes down to 5 main parts. Number 1 is a brief overview of your agency and your background. 2 is going to be a project overview, which includes your client's current situation and what you plan to do in the very near future to actually help them get results with their marketing. The third thing is going to be the result that you expect to get for this potential client, because they want to know what they're going to receive if they give you money. So you have to at least have some kind of an idea of what you're going to provide them, so that way they feel comfortable. 4 is going to be the scope of work, which lays out exactly what you're going to be doing step by step, or really what services you're going to be providing for them, so that way we can get the results promised. And then 5 is going to be the letter of intent and contract, which basically just says, here's what we're all agreeing to, here's what is going to be paid on these dates, here's what is expected, and then the signature. But guys, I've created a whole video already on how to create a full-on proposal for a potential client. Make sure to check out the step-by-step guide up here in the right-hand corner. But that is it for landing clients, guys. The process really isn't that complicated. The biggest things, again, is making sure that you're qualifying businesses properly, so you're not wasting time on businesses that are never going to buy. And like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to learn how you can work with myself and my agency to help you build your agency together, make sure you check out the link right below in the description. Go on over to that webinar and check that out, and we will teach you how to build your agency with us. So that is it for today's video. I hope all of you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Hit that thumbs up button and let us know you liked it, and we will see you guys on the next video. But until then, Serial Entrepreneur out. Bye, guys.
Ready to start living the six-figure work wherever, be your own boss lifestyle? Well, at Serial Entrepreneur Academy, we'll teach you how to use a laptop and internet to start your own social media and digital marketing agency. Get started with our free Facebook ads training. Links in the description below, guys. See you in the course. Serial Entrepreneur out.